Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Pour here on a Monday. Barnes and Tony once again. How are you feeling post horseshoe, Tony?
Definitely, like you said, Monday morning, tired. But you know what, man? I am pumped here. Definitely a bigger night of football than you anticipate the double header, which is nice because you're saying before the show Yankees and Mets off. I think there's maybe like five baseball games. There's three.
Only 3 games.
Oh my gosh, dude. So obviously late slate there, so you can probably get in some preseason hockey, obviously some football as well. So it's gonna be a nice Monday for sports, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And big tournament tomorrow, so we'll be getting to bed a little earlier. Maybe make it to the half times.
Exactly.
The Monday Night Football games, fresh and ready to go.
Make sure we're hydrating. Okay,
the water jugs are full.
Yeah, I'm pumped for tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun.
Tomorrow is going to be insane. And I always say this, but I just love the opportunity to play a private course because, otherwise you would never, without the tournament, you would have no opportunity to do so, most likely, unless you know this person, that person, we get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, that's the case for me. I know a guy, which is why I'm playing.
A guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
I've never done anything like this before, dude.
Yeah, so let's go. Pumped about it. And a couple comments. And Josh B, gracious in victory here.
Yeah, I guess so. He says, "What up, fam? Let's have a week." He says, "Great fantasy baseball season for you guys this year."
I mean, unbelievable. You're leading going into yesterday. I was getting killed. Make the comeback, tie it up.
Yeah.
The tiebreaker, higher seed. Josh B beating me in the regular season by one measly game. I mean, that's a day or two where you weren't checking, and that's the whole difference.
Yeah, no, literally. I was in, I guess, a similar situation. I mean, I guess I just, I don't know. I mean, Anthony Brander over there has a great team, so it was definitely hard for me to try and come back and get some pitchers and stuff. He just killed me in the pitching, dude. That's really what it was, but. I guess we're in the consolation bracket now. Huh,
yeah, and Josh, if you could confirm, I'm guessing because you're saying great season, like there's no third place, like money back or something. I'm guessing that's what he's going to say, but just wanted to double check there. Most leagues, I feel like, have moved away from the third place, which
nobody wants that, dude.
Yeah, sometimes it is nice though, like just to have that there.
You're a loser.
Well, which I guess we are.
We are losers. Yeah.
What else we got here?
We have Nelson Santos in the house. Says, "Good morning, guys. Good morning, Nelson." And then we also have, of course, Kev Dew with a big "Let's go, dude." He wants the smoke. How about those Mets, dude? You're damn right. And he says, "Speaking of damn, my Raiders got beat bad. 2-1 in NFL picks. It's still early, dude." Hashtag TC, hashtag DTV, hashtag Sports Report, which is not wrong.
But it's kind of gotten a little late early. They were unable to pick up any ground. We both go 2-1. So I guess you could say no blood. But we lead 5-4 versus 4-5. So I think decent start for us. I think we were, probably like had a 30% winning percentage at this point last year.
Yeah, we started out pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with where we're at right now.
And of course, the one pick that does this in the Raiders. Pierce, you see that after the game saying that I guess he was trying to call out guys that he basically said weren't like going 100%. That's why they lost.
Way.
He said they were making business-like decisions, so it's time for us to make business-like decisions. And then like Boomer and Gio were saying they think he's alluding to, guys not like tackling all the way, whatnot. And then somebody else, I think Mike Greenberg was on DNR, and he like alluded to the fact like, in a couple weeks things go downhill for the Raiders. You could see them trading Adams to the Jets, which I don't know what the deal is there, but obviously that would be insane.
That would be insane. And I think that would help my fantasy team though, if you're on the Jets as opposed to the Raiders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like, totally.
But only
way
so
better.
many mouths to feed, though. I could see, that getting a little competitive with Garrett Wilson. Obviously, at the end of the day, you have like 2 great receivers.
I mean,
I'm just saying, though, it's tough for guys that are used to like a big, lion's share of targets. Then you got some other guy coming in that already has more chemistry than you do with Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, well, you have Mike Williams and Lazard as well. So it's becomes a very packed room with it.
So, I mean, do you think at that point it would not help the Jets out that much?
Renee, always putting that emphasis on the proper hello after she was called out a couple times.
But yeah, do you think Adams of the Jets is not a good fit then? Like, would you do that if you were the Jets? Would you still pursue him?
I guess, but it depends what are you giving up. And it's like, I don't know. I know you want to be on for this season, but I don't think like, giving up like your first round pick would be a good idea either. And I don't know if that's what it will take.
You think he warrants one, Adams?
But is that, do you really need him? I mean, I think you could like be good with what you have, so I guess it just depends what the thing is. I mean, what the compensation.
Yeah.
I mean, why? What do you think?
I would give them whatever they want for it, to be honest, dude, and go all in.
Be pretty crazy, but I don't think it shouldn't be. It should be a second round pick, not a first round.
Yeah, I guess. How old is Adams?
He's probably 31.
31. I mean, I think regardless. 31.
31.
I mean, listen, that guy would be a huge asset. I mean, no doubt. And again, we want to talk about making Rodgers happy, the chemistry you talked about. You think Rodgers would want the Jets to pursue him? You think Rodgers would be kind of like nudging his elbow to Saleh, be like, "Hey, man, like we should."
I don't. I mean, I think he's like he definitely must feel good with what they already have.
Yeah.
So just again, like, what are they sacrificing? Obviously, he doesn't care about future assets.
He does not care.
But I think you definitely would have to trade Mike Williams in that deal.
Oh, definitely. And now you're, obviously lifelong Jets fan. Like, talk about really earning for a championship. I mean, would you be upset if they did give up like maybe too much of the future to get Adams in, but they win the Super Bowl?
No, I mean, obviously anything's worth it for a Super Bowl, but like I said, I don't know,
Well, you're probably talking about like Super Bowl Rodgers. Like, is he even going to come back? Who knows?
I mean, he's definitely not going to come back if they win the Super Bowl.
That's what I mean. So, like at that point, you're starting fresh all over again,
right? With no draft
with nothing.
Picks.
So
for a receiver, that's nasty. But did you really need him, or is it like you already have a Ferrari,
right?
But then you're getting a Rolls Royce just because.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, I think pretty good analogy. I mean,
that's
Wilson,
a great analogy.
He's the top 5 receiver probably in the league. I mean, at least top 10.
Yeah, he's great.
So be interesting to see, what happens. What do we got from Nelson here?
Nelson says, have you seen the Yankees player drive the Tesla Cybertruck after the game?
No.
Do you know which one? No. Actually, would be interesting to see. What do you think about that? I think that car is ridiculous.
Is that the thing that I don't know?
Cybertruck. If you could guess what player had the Cybertruck, who would have?
I don't know. Salicata? No, I'm just kidding.
Come on. I would probably guess, honestly, Stanton, if he had one.
Doesn't really seem like
nothing is coming
Nestor?
up.
What does it say for Nestor?
What do you see, Nestor?
Second one
right here. Oh, is it really? Yep, it's Nestor.
Wait, isn't that? Oh, that was like from September 1st.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess maybe a little while ago. I mean, I guess that's cool, Nestor.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. I mean, come on,
Nestor.
Come on, Nelson. There's a clip.
That was it. That was what we just looked at.
That's what it was.
Maybe you should focus on the pitching, Nestor. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and he's
buying
Cybertrucks well, and we'll get to that in a second. And I did mention this last night, but just wanted to touch on it briefly again. We had the DP World Tour flagship event over the weekend, Wentworth Club, Virginia Water, Surrey, England, Tony. Rory going down in the playoff once again. Billy Horschel, who a couple years ago became the first American to win the BMW, wins his second title in 3 years. And I think it was like a long birdie putt he made on the first playoff hole to win this tournament. So congratulations to him. Rory finishing second, of course. And then you had Aaron Raya tie for 4th. Tommy Fleetwood tied for 12th with Patrick Harrington. So dude, that's a pretty good effort for the Grizzled vet, just outside the top 10, playing with a bunch of guys that are most likely 15 to 20 years younger than he is. So I think that's a great feat there. Shane Lowry was tied with him as well. So as I mentioned last week, kind of cool, to have this still going on with the PGA kind of in a dormant scenario, but we will have greener pastures this week. And I have to ask you, Tony, how do you feel about your captain?
I mean, I feel like I feel the same as I've been feeling. I'm just a little like, again, captain. But I mean, the team in general is good. So I mean, I guess that'd be fine. I mean, how much decision making does the captain of the team really make during the day?
Who's playing in what matches, who's team together, who's going out in certain events. So there definitely is a little strategy involved.
Right. But I mean, like how much of that though is like almost like them making the decisions as opposed to like is the captain really like the sole, like I'm making these decisions, doesn't really matter? Like
no, he is, because the captain's not playing, you know what I mean? So that's his job to put the guys.
No, I'm saying, but is it more of like a committee deal with the team? No, not at all. It is clearly like, hey man, I'm strictly
and he has like his vice captains, but the players have no control over it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I guess it'll be fine. I think the chemistry will be there with the players.
So we're gonna get underway on Thursday from Royal Montreal Golf Club. So I think this is gonna be a great event. I'm honestly interested to see what the course looks like, and I do always enjoy.
Kev, do you hate the Cybertruck? He says,
the different. I think it's really annoying too. But the different courses that we haven't seen before, the different format as well. So as this fall season, trucks along, Tony, and
Cybertrucks along.
In Utah coming up. The next one is in Mississippi, but the following one is going to be that event in Utah where they've never had a PGA Tour event. So
that's exciting.
Kind of interesting for an off-season event. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on it, but I think the President's Cup, is a big deal. And I think there is a little bit of a pressure on the U.S. because, they lost in Rome when everyone thought they shouldn't. So this is kind of a similar scenario. I mean, no option here. I mean, you got to win this, and everyone's expecting to win it to you handily.
Do you think it will be a handled victory, or do you think it'll be like not even close?
No,
like
a bloodbath. Honestly,
let's fucking go, dude.
I mean, Scotty, Xander, Colin, Wyndham, Patrick Cantley, Sahith Theegala, Keegan, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon, Russell Henley, Max Homa. I mean, that's a lot of firepower. Guys who have won major championships are ready to go. And I mean, the international side, is interesting. I mean, they're solid guys, but you don't have that like guy that right now you think is, could be the best in the whole, on tour or in the world, whatever you want to call it. But Hideki, Sungjae Im, Adam Scott, Tom Kim, Jason Day, Byung-Hung An, Siwoo Kim, Minwoo Lee, Taylor Pendrith. I mean, that's, you're not out of your seat. You're not out of your seat.
I'm not at all. I'm still sitting in my seat, dude.
Yeah.
So I guess you can expect the bloodbath, but I don't know. In the back of my head, I do remember the like last year in Rome, and it was kind of like
embarrassing.
Yeah. Like I remember Riley being like kind of fucking tight.
Yeah.
To be honest.
In shock. In shambles. Michael Bucka, Rob, for the Barnes and Tony show.
That's right. There's Barnes and Tony show, dude.
So good to have Michael in the building. Dude. I know he's getting excited for some playoff Yankee baseball, which we'll get to in a second. As well as his Steelers 3-0. Talked about it yesterday as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Your mother's saying, "Hi, fellas."
Hi, Mom.
Good morning.
Monday. Good morning. Good morning.
But speaking of the Steelers, let's go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So we last left everybody. We were about midway through this Sunday night football game between the Chiefs and the Falcons. Kind of a weird second half. One that only had 12 points. The Chiefs winning 9-3 in the second half, 22-17 overall. A lot of flags late in that game as well. And the Falcons ultimately coming up short once again. And it was interesting because this is yet another win. I mean, I think opening night, they were solid. But last week, definitely questionable, and especially on the offensive side. And I think same thing goes for this one. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are 3-0. The Falcons are 1-2. And sans Isaiah Pacheco, the Chiefs ran the ball effectively, 128 yards on the ground. Steele leading the way, and it got banged up a little bit, was able to stay in the game, 72 yards on 17 carries. Mahomes threw for 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, wasn't sacked, 217 yards. And Rashee Rice was banged in this one as well. He had 12 catches for 110 yards in the score. Juju Smith-Schuster with his first touchdown catch of the year. Kelsey kind of held in check, only 30 yards on 4 catches. And I just wanted to see. So I guess there isn't really any. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Rice, should be okay. I guess he was just banged up a little bit. But when you think about this game, I mean, the Falcons really played the better game in the first half. But second half, I think there were just a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that was a poor play call there on 4th down at the end of the game. And also too, though, I did kind of feel like they were some of the calls were questionable in terms of the penalties against the Chiefs defense there. There were several times where the drive wouldn't have continued if it wasn't for those flags, or they would have been forced into 4th down. I thought Cousins played pretty well. 20 of 29, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, was only sacked twice. And then, Bijan and the running game really couldn't get anything going. Only 3.3 yards per carry on 25 attempts. Drake London looked good. I thought they should have got the ball to him more, as well as Mooney. London 6 for 67, Mooney 8 for 66. Kyle Pitts had a 50-yard reception, 2 catches for 59 yards overall. But what did you think about the finish here and it being ugly? But at the end of the day, I mean, the Chiefs here are 3-0 and looking for their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, we were talking about yesterday too. The Chiefs, they're that type of team that just finds ways to win games ever since last year, right? Where they started to get some doubts, I think, from people watching the NFL. But nonetheless, I mean, they do figure out ways, like I said. And the Falcons, I mean, I guess Cousins did do good. It wasn't the last turnover. I think there was maybe a couple drives before that. They turned it over in like 4th and 1, pass over the middle. Wasn't like the best pass by Cousins. So I don't know. I feel like maybe in those bigger spots he could have done better. Because I mean, think about both those drives. If they convert in the 4th down and maybe end up with a field goal on both of them or a touchdown in one of them, obviously different story here on a Monday morning. So I think that obviously the Chiefs defense, you got to be happy with that. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I was complaining the first half that it was boring, and the second half was
down the stretch, though, I mean, the result was...
It was getting tight.
It was in question until the final play, really. And the Falcons, I mean, you talk about not finishing here. Their last 3 drives, they set up for a field goal in a scenario where they had a chance, to score a touchdown, go for 2, tie the game. After Bucker shockingly missed that extra point there. And instead, they settled for a field goal. And then after they force a 3-and-out, they have a 15-play drive, 83 yards. And that was when you mentioned the pass on 4th down, incomplete. So they turn it over on downs. They force another 3-and-out. And then they go down on downs again. I mean, what did you think? I mean, that was the final play from scrimmage, other than a couple kneel downs. Of that play call going Bijan on the outside. Seemed like if he just went straight ahead,
up the middle,
he probably gets it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, by no means am I an expert here, but I feel like when you do, especially against a defense like the Chiefs, like if you're going to run to the outside, I feel like you need to like pull a guard from the other end and have like a blocker in front of him or something. Blocker, there wasn't really much, I guess, creativity in that play. It was just a run to the outside, and you were just kind of hoping for something. But like you said, if they were at the middle, you probably would have gotten it. So I think overall, probably a bad play call. But, I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there now. But again, I mean, like if you convert on that 4th down, I mean, you're looking, again, like a different outcome potentially. So obviously tough for the Falcons. It did work in favor of the Chiefs. And
our picks.
And our picks, yes, of course. As well as my fantasy. I started Kansas City's defense. But I would say that, like you were saying too, with the penalties, very slap happy with the flags. The refs.
It was so annoying. I hate that. And I know some of them were calls, and they were
Right.
calls or missed that on Pitts there, where they ended up settling for the field goal. Would have been first and goal at the 1 yard line.
Crazy.
But it just seemed like that last drive for the Falcons. I mean, there were 4 penalties called. I mean, it seems like there can't be that. Like, I understand, like, there's penalties, but like every play, like
literally, I think there was 15 penalties total in the game, maybe 12, but it was just that first half. It just felt like every other minute we're seeing a penalty, and then they're talking about it, making a call, and then it's like, oh my gosh, dude. But I don't know, man. I mean, I guess, a lot of people don't like the way that refs call Chiefs games.
But it was interesting though, because the flags were coming off against the Chiefs. Really,
you think it's like a makeup spot, or
no? I mean, I think it's really the Falcons. I mean, that's it was almost like Arthur Smith was still the head coach, or Mike Smith. You know what I mean? Two of their last head coaches, who Dan Quinn as well, were just late. They just fall apart. And it was 12 penalties between the both teams, but it felt like 20.
It really did, dude. What do you think about the Falcons now, like moving forward? I mean, they're 1-2. They haven't won a game yet at home. You want to peek at their schedule. Saints next week, then Bucks, Panthers, Seahawks. So, like, I mean, next 4 games seem to be manageable.
I mean, I think really though, you look at that. I mean, the Panthers obviously had that big win yesterday, but we see them as an inferior opponent. But,
right.
Saints just got handed their first loss.
Yeah.
But I think they've played well. And I think the Bucks are not going to be the team that we saw, yesterday.
Yeah.
And they have to play them twice, in a span of 4 weeks. So I don't think this is an easy schedule. But I think the Saints game will be interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, everything okay up there?
Yeah.
I would say I favor the Falcons in that one, but I think that's going to be like almost like this game, where it's just going to be down to the final possession.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see how they can respond there with the Saints and everything. But I don't know. It's tough, dude. Also, I think I still favor the Falcons. But you said, maybe down the wire. But I think Cousins get the dub next week.
Yeah, and I think he looks pretty good. I think he's recovered from his Achilles procedure.
I feel like a lot of people kind of like don't mention that. Like, people forget that.
Yeah, that's a big thing to come back.
Huge, dude.
Matthew riled up saying, "Let's go." The other Matthew, of course, with the Mets won, like he's been under a rock for the past 12 hours.
Oh my gosh, Matthew Ryan. I mean, just give it a rest right now, dude. All right, just give it a rest. We're on to Atlanta. All right. He also was tripping out Kev Dew. Shit, your crappy Mets are in the driver's seat for playoff spot. I don't even know what that means right now, dude. But they are.
He's just like kind of voicing frustration that the Mets are, like we just said, in the driver's seat for the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you expect, dude? I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah, I guess he was just set on, that they wouldn't be,
right.
And here they are. So it's tough for him to.
Not to say that they are definitely in, because they're not, obviously. I mean,
but they're in the driver's seat.
Oh yeah, they are in the driver's seat. But this is, this is it, dude. This is the fucking Braves.
Well,
series.
This was the series that they got swept in last time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So obviously pretty tough, like you said, though, off day, but which is very well needed. But I mean, this is still like, talk about like, want to talk about anxiety levels. Obviously against the Phillies this weekend, 4-game set, huge. But this is like way more through the roof, dude.
This is everything. Yeah.
This is everything. And then honestly, like, I still don't feel great playing the Brewers.
Yeah,
at the end to end the year.
Depends if they need the games or
they
not.
Probably won't.
Yeah.
Did you see them fucking beat the Diamondbacks yesterday? No. They were down 8-0 by the third inning, I think, and they won 10-9.
Wow.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Monty,
tight. Yeah. But
so we'll see.
Contract offseason, maybe. We'll see. Your mother trying to put some salt in those wounds, huh?
Yeah.
Imagine that right now. I'm starving.
Stop honestly. It, dude. I can't. The chicken parm with raviolis. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Going.
Like, are you kidding, dude?
But then you go back to sleep after.
Literally, that would be like.
And that was
nap,
after
dude.
the cheesecake. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, that definitely sounds good right now.
Sure.
And also kind of wrapping up the Sunday night game here, Chiefs will be at the Chargers next week. And who knows what the deal is with Herbert, obviously leaving the game with the ankle injury. So, I think it would be a competitive game with Herbert. Without Herbert, I think there's going to be a problem.
You know their backup?
Easton Stick.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Is it really spelled like that?
State, like a 6th, 7th round pick.
Oh, it's from Omaha. Okay. Oh, wow. He's 29. Interesting.
You've been around a little bit.
Been around a little bit is right. And I guess with the Chargers,
Yeah, it just doesn't really get into games
at all.
What, last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
Do you think Herbert, would you have played him yesterday?
No, I mean, clearly for him to go down like that, I mean, he wasn't 100%. They got a little antsy, and they just have to hope that this doesn't hamper them long term. You
think that's Harbaugh's fault?
I mean, it's it's
everybody's medical staff. Yeah,
it's Herbert, but listen, I think he'll do everything he can, to get cleared, for that game. So we'll have to see what happens. What are your thoughts though, Tony, on the old double dip tonight? 7:30 on ESPN, Jags Bills, followed by Commanders Bengals, 8:15 ABC ESPN Plus. The A team will be on that one with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I mean, I'm pumped for the matchups. The more I'm thinking about 2 games on Monday night, though, it does seem like a lot. I don't know how you feel, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I love Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football because it is one game that you're just hyper focused on, sort of deal. And obviously, having both these games on. But the stagger isn't really that good, I guess. I probably would have enjoyed more of a stagger between these 2 times.
I think that I kind of like it because it gives us, some insurance if we have a game that's a blowout.
Okay.
And then it's just
a good point.
Really gives us a sense, it feels like there's a lot going on, 2 games at one time. The games feel bigger. So yeah, I think it's good. And especially too, you think about if it was just Washington and Cincinnati, but the fact that you have Jacksonville, Buffalo as well, I just think it makes it more exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying there. It definitely is. I mean, I think they're 2 good matchups, great storylines going on here. But then again, I mean, I do see it could be a blowout for one, and then if that was the one game of the night, then you're kind of just
And we get another chance to listen to Chris Fowler, fresh off another U.S. Open, Louis Riddick, and your boy, Dan Orlowski, whatever. And
that's kind of tough. Which game is that going to be?
That's the Buffalo game.
Oh.
And then Buck and Aikman in Cincinnati. Do you think they got hammered watching the games yesterday?
Absolutely, dude. Enjoying that day. Yeah.
They definitely both just milk the shit out of everything. I think Aikman's getting $18-20 million a year. I know Buck is less too, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Aikman is a funny guy. I mean, them together is entertaining.
Yeah.
But they're definitely got hammered. I could definitely see them just so popped, falling over themselves. Nah.
yeah, definitely. Oh my God. Can you imagine just the stuff that they must talk about when they're hammered?
Yeah, dude.
All the games they've called together over the years.
Oh my God.
So now let me try to put on my Houdini hat here.
Oh boy.
You're saying one of these games could be a blowout. If I had to guess, and I could be wrong here, but just kind of based on what we've seen so far this season, I'm guessing you're saying, and because it's on the road, that the Jags could get blown out. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely, dude.
But I don't know. Just the Bills. Is everybody getting too riled for the Bills? I mean, I know Cook, has done a good job. Allen hasn't thrown a pick. But I just think, weapons on the outside aren't that impressive. And I don't know if we've really seen them get humming yet, but then again, obviously I know we haven't seen Jacksonville really get going either.
Jacksonville has not really gotten going. And I mean, again, you could say that maybe they're due or whatever, but first couple of games, I mean, their defense hasn't been phenomenal. They do not have any interceptions as a team. And through those first 2 games, only have 5 sacks as well. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like they don't really challenge the quarterbacks. Again, you look at those first 2 games. I know they're tight. Dolphins, Browns. I mean, we spoke about it a little bit last night. I mean, you would think that they would be beating the Browns. And I guess they kept it competitive with the Dolphins, but still, I mean,
lack of offense,
dude, is not great there. And this is a team that like their sense of urgency has to be at an all-time high right now. Like there's a lot of multiple questions in terms of like what Trevor Lawrence can do for a team at the quarterback position, because he hasn't done anything as of now, dude. So I don't know, man. Those first 2 games, I don't see that urgency, Bills, I think, have way more momentum, pep in their step. And like you said, I mean, yeah, Allen's been clean. You would imagine, obviously, that won't last forever. But the Jags defense, it's not really telling me that they're going to have like a great night in terms of forcing Allen into some tough decisions, a lot of pressure and whatnot. Especially like if Allen starts to scramble, big body, the runner, I don't know. I can't really see them defending him well.
I mean, I guess the only thing really for people, that are Jags fans or just pulling for the Jags here, we saw a lot of stuff that, didn't make any sense, yesterday, like Baker laying the egg.
Yeah, true.
So I guess you never know what you're going to get.
It's been a crazy week so far.
But things definitely point to, the Bills here. But that's why it almost makes Jacksonville interesting. Just because it seems like, oh, there's no way, dude. And I think I could be mistaken, but I think this was a AFC divisional game when Blake Bortles was the quarterback. And I'm pretty sure it was like 7-3 ended up being the final score. Crazy. And it's insane, too, that the Jags were up on New England, the AFC Championship game. Blake Bortles, Doug Marrone, but unfortunately unable to ultimately get the job done.
Yeah, dude. So are you like anticipating a low-scoring, tight game here? Are you alluding to that?
No, I mean, because if you look at the first 2 games for the Bills, the first game was 62 points, and then last week was 41. But the Dolphins, without their quarterback, late in that one,
right?
You would think there should actually be a lot of offense in this one, really. Yeah. And we haven't seen a ton of high-scoring games yet this year, so we're kind of due for that as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I know the Saints scored like 44, right, against the Cowboys, but they only scored like 10 points, right? So it's been kind of lopsided, those higher-scoring games, I guess you could say. Do you think the Jags can produce enough offense to score like 27 tonight, sort of deal? Like,
yeah, I mean, the guys are still there. You know what I mean?
Guys are there. Lawrence, though, I mean, you look at his stats, first 2 games, 26 or 51. I mean, that.
Yeah. But you got ETN, Brian Thomas, the rookie wide receiver out of LSU. Evan Engram as well. Like there's guys there, so it's just I mean, it's kind of now or never. I mean, the season would pretty much be over with a loss tonight. So obviously that just puts more and more pressure on Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think Jeff said it last night. I mean, teams that go 0-3 have like a 2.5% chance of making the playoffs.
Even now, I mean, the percentage is very low.
So it was 7 probably,
something like that. Yeah.
So kind of crazy, but I mean, hey, I mean, it does seem 45.5 is your total there. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
And what I'm going to be really interested to see, it's about 4 weeks from today. We're going to have another Monday Night Football game featuring the Bills, but the opponent is going to be your New York Jets.
That's going to be crazy. Game, dude. That is going to be really crazy. So you said this is not next week.
No, this is the 14th of October.
The 14th of October. So 2 weeks, right? Isn't that 2 weeks?
No. Because today's the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Actually.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
But why is it? Oh, I guess. Yeah. Okay. I guess that does make a little sense. 3 weeks. So yeah,
Matthew Ryan says, let's go Jags, by the way.
Well, that makes sense though, because of the division for the Jets.
Correct.
Yeah. So I know you're rooting for Allen, but
I didn't say I was rooting for him.
No,
I
but
just
obviously
think they're
going to
win.
Jets, so I mean, you obviously would want Jacksonville to win here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but I mean, I was just taking it as a non-biased, sportscaster over here.
How about though? I mean, kind of easier match, especially with the Tua injury. So next 4 weeks, including tonight for the Bills, Jags at Ravens, at Texans, at Jets.
That's a little bit of a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right, don't you think?
And then Titans, but then at Seattle.
Which isn't easy to go to Seattle, I suppose, with the way they're playing. But then obviously, the Ravens, I think, were surprisingly good.
But what do you think about how, I mean, we've seen in recent years, these teams, thinking Jets, Bills split their series. I mean, you think those games, set up to be all-time classics, the Josh B battle, where those are going to be down in the last second? I mean, obviously, opening week last year, we saw the punt return touchdown for the walk-off. I mean, you think that's what we're going to see? Like, you think there are two evenly matched teams?
I think at this point, yeah, I do think so. And we'll kind of see what the Jets look like next week and sort of deal, because they beat the Patriots handily, which we know about the Patriots. But I think at this point, I mean, both teams have like that offense that could produce, and of course, I mean, Jets defense seems like they're coming into their own as well. So I think it does set it up for like, Legatron going out there for fourth quarter to end it. But we'll see, dude. We'll see.
Yeah. More surprising for you yesterday, Aubrey connecting from 65 or Butker chunking his first extra point, I think, in 3 years?
I guess Butker, yeah. I mean,
usually spot on.
I know.
Off the upright. That could have came back to bite.
It could have, dude. Yeah, thank God it didn't. But
the Chiefs, everything seems to
exactly. And Butker, I mean, he deserved a little bit of a pass. Wipe that one off,
3
dude.
years. He's
going
to be just fine.
Yeah.
And before we get into picks, the second game here, Commanders, Bengals. You think this sets up to be a close game? I mean, Commanders are 1-1, Bengals are 0-2, lost a heartbreaker to Kansas City last week. Burrow looked better last week. Jaden Daniels, I think, has looked good in both games. Hasn't had a passing touchdown yet, but had a lot of completions last week, was effective in running the football, but obviously, they didn't score a touchdown, still won against the Giants. This is a tough road test. I mean, do you think because the Bengals, have been uneven so far, that this, lends itself to be a competitive type football game? Or do you think the desperation of an 0-2 football team will make this, a Bengals win handily?
Oh, I don't know. It's so tough, dude. I mean, listen, I believe in Joe, and he's got the talent. The receivers are there too, but you've been talking about the locker room woes, I guess you could say.
But Chase and Higgins back for this one.
Yes, which is great, but I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, whenever that shit gets in the way, contracts, negotiations, like people aren't happy. I mean, I just feel like it sets up for a team like Washington to come into Cincinnati and kind of steal a game here. So that's kind of what I'm feeling, to be honest.
Wow.
I know, dude. And Washington, I mean, Brian Robinson is a solid runner. They do out of Alabama. They have Eckler as well. You were talking about Daniels. I mean, it's not like they're a walk in the park necessarily.
And again, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be great. I know our chip guy got us robbed, but he looks pretty good.
He does look pretty good. And I mean, not for nothing. I mean, they did beat the Giants right last week. Like, call it what you will, Giants kerfuffle, never mind. They still won. Tampa Bay, they put up 20 points against them week 1. They made it somewhat competitive for the most part. I think it was like a third quarter, fourth quarter kind of pull away spot. But I don't know. I think they have what it takes to get a dub here against the Bengals.
Wow. I mean, that would really put the nail in the proverbial coffin for Cincinnati, 0-3.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really would. And I feel bad, dude. I mean, Joe Burrow is, having a tough go at it, you could say, but I don't know. I guess we'll see, dude. I mean, those 2 losses, New England really, the week 1 really pissed me off.
And then,
dude.
but also, too, I mean, that was a pretty bad turnover. The fumble that Kansas City returned for the touchdown. I mean, that was insane.
Yeah, you can't be doing that, dude.
No.
And, I guess we'll see what happens here, but I would lean Commanders.
Are you more excited for this game than the Jags game?
Yeah, I think I would say so. Because I think it won't be a blowout either way for this game. Bills, like I said, could see it, snowballing down, and
the whole thing is, what are the exact predictions? Let's find out in a full-on football Monday night edition of The Frenzy. And let's start in Orchard Park, New York at Highmark Stadium.
You know the deal, dude. Jags, Bills, let's go. Over under 45.5. Jacksonville is plus 5.5 on the spread there. I said it, dude. I think this game, Bills come out pretty firing, win the coin toss, defer, first drive down the field. Trevor Lawrence, sack, fumble, dude. The turnover start. Bills take advantage right away, dude. It is Josh Allen, dude. I would say Allen, I'm going to go 312 yards through the air, dude. 2 throwing touchdowns, 1 rushing. Cook, a rushing touchdown himself. You got to appreciate that. Who is it? Kincaid is their tight end, right?
Yeah.
Receiving touchdown from Kincaid. I'd say the tight end plays a big role for the Bills today because I feel like they've been using him a little bit more than they did last year. Jags fall to 0-3. Bills win. I'll say 31-17.
All right. So I think this is going to be a classic Monday Night Football game, a back and forth battle. And I think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this one. Both quarterbacks, couple touchdowns, over 250 yards passing. But I think it'll come down to Ty Bass.
Wow.
For the win at the horn. Let's say a 48-yard field goal, sending the Bills to the locker rooms with a victory here. 31-28. The Bills are 3-0, and the Jags are 0-3.
Let's freaking go. Next game, you know it. Commanders in Cincy against the Bengals. Bengals, another team here looking for their first victory. Over-under is 46.5. Washington is +7 here. And you know me, I'm going to be going with the dog here, dude. The tight dog. Commanders. I think it'll be maybe a little bit of a lull first quarter, maybe no scoring at all. Second quarter, maybe we see a couple touchdowns or a field goal or something. Halftime going in tied, maybe 10-10, let's say. And let's give Washington at the end of the game, fourth quarter. Maybe Bengals look good, drive down the field, go up, I don't know, 21-14. Washington, 2-minute drill. Daniels powering his way down the field, rushes it in from maybe the 18. Commanders win. I'll say 24-21.
Wow. Okay.
There we go.
Tight finish there. So I'm going to say the Bengals will win, but they won't cover. I think, like I said, I've been impressed with Daniels. Maybe Burrow starts slow, but I think, working T. Higgins back into the mix and getting Chase his fair share of targets, I think they will ultimately come up victorious here. I'm going to say by the score of 28-24.
Okay.
So a late drive, a late T. Higgins touchdown. But it is going to be the Commanders covering the +7 and the over. Wow. And just like that, week 3 will be over, Tony. How about that?
That's a great little Friday, a little Monday night, the 2 games. You do got to be excited,
Yeah.
Give you something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, next week, we're also going to have a doubleheader. Titans, Dolphins, but then Seahawks, Lions,
How do you feel about are they going to be consistently doing the double headers on Monday night? Or
no,
is that just
just always a couple select weeks, mostly early in the season. But that's kind of the game plan. I'm fine with it, honestly, because it's like either way. I mean, you're watching these games anyway, so why not have another option? Like I said, blowout insurance. I think it's good. So I'm excited for the games tonight.
Absolutely.
And then just like that, it'll be Thursday. It'll be MetLife Stadium. Once again, 1 week later, this time the Giants in the building hosting the Cowboys. Big game for both teams. Dallas right now 4.5. Obviously, some concerns about them, the running back room, and just the inconsistent performances they've had, losing their first 2 home games. But the Giants obviously getting the W yesterday in Cleveland. Neighbors looking good, but I just, historically, of course, Dallas has dominated. So that's what we got on Thursday. I'm sure Al, that is Michael's, Tony, a little juiced up, probably not. He's like, the Giants suck and the Cowboys will turn it around. Who knows? But then when we look further ahead, what's going to happen, next Sunday. So your ones, you got Saints at Falcons, Rams at Bears. Vikings at Packers.
Nice.
Steelers, Colts, Broncos, Jets, Eagles, Bucks, Panthers, Bengals, Jags, Texans. That's your 1 o'clock window. And then the 4s, I believe there's 4 o'clocks. Commanders at Cardinals, Pats at 49ers, Browns at Raiders, Chiefs at Chargers, and then followed by the Sunday Night Football edition, Bills and Ravens. I believe we've seen this in the playoffs before, but of course a big game for the Ravens, who got their first win of the season yesterday. But I have to say, Tony, I am like juiced up for next week. I think there are some tremendous matchups here.
Yeah, and I think we're also going to see some teams. It's week 4, so we're settling in.
Right.
So it's like I don't think there'll be like so many weird games or upsets or whatever. And like you said, because of that too, we have some great matchups. So I'm excited as well, dude.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what else I'm excited for? The world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeouts.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
We thought we were packing it in for the fantasy
Consolation?
baseball season. The consolation prize, a wholesome $20 on the line.
Here we go.
Get the lineups going.
Oh, I gotta see my lineup now,
right?
dude.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm obviously gonna go for it.
I mean, let's go,
why
dude.
wouldn't we?
You're going down, Brian.
1 to 10. How much juice does that give you? I mean, it is 20. It is the buy-in fee, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
which is dope, dude. So I would say let's fucking go. All-time 10 right now. Let's go, dude.
an extension of the season. So hey, why not? So that adds a little fuel to the fire.
That's for sure.
And also Josh and I guess Riley, and I remember seeing this in a group tag a while ago, was supposed to send in the 20, but apparently hasn't done so. So he was just saying, we got to remind him.
All right, I'll see him today. So
oh, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Ask him if he's gonna go to any Red Sox playoff games. But anyhow, we had the Yankees completing the sweep yesterday at the hands of the Oakland A's, and really just a great job overall on their West Coast trips this season. I believe 12-3, winning all 5 series. So you love to see that. But we rewind back to Friday night, which we saw Garrett Cole probably have his best pitching performance of the season. This was an extra inning 4-2 Yankees win, so they needed everything he could give them. And he goes 9 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. So his 7th victory of the season. Only 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. I mean, those are good numbers, just under 100 pitches. And that's what you want to see. This is a good time for it, obviously, as the playoffs, around the corner. JT Ginn on the other side of things did okay for the A's. Only 78 pitches, 5 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. And if you look at the summary here, not much to summarize, still extras. In the 4th, off of Cole, Langoliers with a single gave Oakland a 1-0 lead. Next inning, though, and I guess you haven't paid your 20 either. That's what Josh is saying.
It's possible that I have not.
Well, you might
honestly.
get it back if you win.
That's right.
A little extra motivation.
That's so funny.
You think Josh is time going read the text over the air or no?
No.
I'm just kidding. But anyway, Volpe single 1-1 ties the game. I thought you just phrased it just real funny there. Anyway, ties the game at 1 there, 5th inning. And then, battle of the pens till then. So we go to extra innings here, and the Yankees are busy in the top half of the 10th. They start out the scoring on a pass ball to score. Jason Dominguez made it 2-1 Yanks. Soto with a double made 3-run. Volpe, another single 4-1. And Luke Weaver gets the job done once again. Leadoff single to Blade, and then strikes out the side. Something that we've seen Weaver do all season long when called upon, getting the job done. So that was good enough for his third save of the year. Saturday night turned out to be a laugher. So it was okay that I ended up falling asleep before this one was over. The late start time. Carlos Rodon, a career-high 16 victories after going 6 scoreless inning, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, only 90 pitches there. And, they were able to go to the mop-up boys in Leiter and Meza to get the job done here. The 10 runs, how did they get there? Stanton, 3-run homer. Judge also had a home run. And then also, you had Dominguez with an RBI single. Volpe had a RBI and a fielder's choice. And then Gleyber Torres with a 2-run RBI single, all resulting in a 10-0 victory here. Torres in this one, 3 for 6, 2 RBIs. Kind of interesting. He would go on to homer in yesterday's game, which we'll get to. The power hasn't been there, but since he's been moved to the leadoff spot, he's on base all the time. He's getting walks. Really kind of insane. What a renaissance, almost a parallel minus the power of what Lindor has done out of the leadoff spot for the Mets. I know injured now, but same kind of effect where really struggling, go to the leadoff spot. What do you think that is?
That's a great question in terms of what the leadoff spot, like why it's the leadoff spot. Yeah. But I feel like for Torres more specifically, Mike was talking about it, that guy, I guess he was benched for a little bit. No, like he was not starting.
It was like one game.
It was just one game.
Pulled for one game, didn't start one game. It was very brief, but the point I think was
made. Obviously. Yeah, of course. Almost the parallel of McNeil, honestly, right. You could say that. Also, McNeil injured, tough, doesn't really matter. But I don't know. There might be something about that leadoff role that, you just get the first look. There's a lot of hype going up there. Maybe there's just like an adrenaline rush sort of deal. And you just know, as the leadoff batter, your main job is really just to get on base. Like, you're not the cleanup guy. Like, you're not batting. There's no on base ahead of you normally. So maybe there's just like a little bit more concise in terms of like what you're expected to do. And maybe that's why it's helping, these players like Torres, like Lindor, find their swing again, and ultimately, getting home runs off of it as well, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it's like for the Yankees specifically here with Gleyber. You got Soto and Judge coming up, so he in his mind he's thinking, well, they're not going to want to walk me and then pitch to them, so right. Get something good to hit. Soto's got some walks as well, but I think he's waiting on those good pitches, and it's really paying dividends. And I'm going to take a look at the splits in a second, but getting to yesterday's game here, Luis Gil versus Johnny Estes. Gil, was better than the final numbers suggest. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. But 2 of those runs were runners that were left on before they went to the bullpen. Unfortunately, Ian Hamilton serving up some damage. So it was good enough to give his 15th victory of the season, which you love to see. But how did it start? You had a Soderstrom double in the first inning. There was an error by Volpe on a throw, so that made it 2-0 A's. But Jason Dominguez, who has really made an impact since getting recalled from AAA, homer to right, 397 feet. That tied the game at 2, and that was Dominguez's second home run of the year. Judge comes up in the third, hits a home run of his own, 4-7 to center his 55th home run of the season. Interesting stat. We talk about scoregami. Of course, 6 games left, so he will probably hit one more, you would think. But no one has ended the season with exactly 55 home runs ever. They were talking about it on Boomer and Gio this morning. Kind of one of those random stats.
That is pretty random.
Is what it is. So that made it 3-2. Gleyber hitting his 15th home run of the season in the 5th inning. So he's found a little power recently. That made it 4-2. Jazz with a sac fly in the 5th made it 5-2. But then, Hamilton, I mentioned, serving up that double to Noda, 2-run double with 2 outs, made it 5-4. So, this is actually right when I got to the horseshoe. I'm sweating it out a little bit.
Yep.
But then Stanton with a big double made it 6-4. And then Clay Holmes gets into a little bit of trouble there in the 8th inning after Tim Hill. It seems like every time this guy comes in, because I guess he throws the ball over the plate and it's got the side spin. He always just gets ground out. So he had a 5-pitch 7th inning. They take him out to go to Clay Holmes, who, of course, a walk, a hit, did get the strikeouts. They had to pull him. Who else but Luke Weaver there to come in to save the day. And he ends up giving them 5 outs, 3 strikeouts, no walks or hits. His 4th save of the year. Wells added a double to make it 7-4. But at the end of the day, it's a clean sweep. It's closing out the Coliseum for the Yankees, and it's 92 up, 64 down, 6-game lead with 6 to play against Baltimore. So what does that mean? 1 victory here will clinch the American League East. So a great place to be. You also had Cleveland losing yesterday, so it's up to a 2.5-game lead over the Guardians for the best record in the American League. So, I mean, that's right exactly where you want to be. And it seems like things are trending in the right direction as we close out the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that last game. I mean, the bullpen did a tremendous job. Clay Holmes, again, all the walk, the hit aside, the anxiety, the sweating he was causing. You saw my face. Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Why do we have to do this?
But nonetheless, I mean, all those setup guys, they get the hold, and then Weaver comes in and gets the save. I mean, that's ideally what you want, dude, especially after, again, heel, little tough, but regardless, a great game, and you got the job done against the A's. A big sweep. Now you can kind of again, get that 1 game, win the division, and then just kind of get your mind set for the playoffs, which obviously, these guys' minds have already been there. But I think with everything that was going on this year, winning this first game, getting the division, and then kind of coasting would be great. And have a nice, almost a little break, reset yourself for the postseason. And then obviously it's October.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And you want the American League to run through Yankee Stadium, and that's the way it looks right now. And a big reason why the Yankees have the best record in the American League, and this is not even an American League high, but a league high 50 road victories. So 50-31
very nice
away from Yankee Stadium, 42-33 at home. Obviously, 6 games left to play there. And right now the Dodgers have 93 victories, so a game up for the best record in all of Major League Baseball. And obviously that would only come into play if they matched up in the World Series. But it's just so exciting right now. Can't wait till the postseason bracket is set. And it's just such an exciting time, and you really appreciate it more after not making it last season. So they will have a chance to win the division tomorrow night, a national game on TBS. I don't know if that's one of those things where all other areas besides New York, so might still be on the S Network. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, Creamer versus Schmidt. That's a pitching matchup you'll get at Yankee Stadium. So 3 against the Birds, Tuesday to Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday, the Pittsburgh Pirates coming to town. And just like that, Tony, that will be the end of the regular season. Kind of crazy. You think back to the opening days.
Yeah, no, my God, it really is kind of crazy. Quick season flew by, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, dude. But hey, I mean, this is best time of the year for baseball. It's, baseball in October. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Is Josh B pumped?
Josh B is definitely pumped. And he says, no chance, angry about it. If anything, Tony is mad for you airing him out. He says, which is not true. Matthew Ryan hyped here for the Yankees. Let's go. 1 game until the real team from New York wins the division. That's a real elite team. Luke Weaver is the closer for postseason. Happy about that. Absolutely.
A good point there from Matty Ryan.
Great point
there.
One,
but a good one.
Yep. And he goes back to the real team, flexing their muscles, whatever. Michael Theofil in here says, goats. Thank you, Michael. And then, of course, Matthew Ryan not missing the opportunity here. At Michael Theofil, hope Zach Wilson comes in the game on Sunday so Jets defense can hit him so hard, dude.
Wow, Yugi's hitting the bottle hard this morning. Monday Night Football coming up. Maybe got the day off from ShopRite.
Yeah, he's definitely riled. Absolutely, dude. Probably making himself a little sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast with a side of a gin and tonic or something, dude. For sure.
But yeah, so I mean, in closing here for the Yankees, I feel really good. Probably the best that I have all season. Obviously there were a lot of trials and tribulations, but it just seems like the things we had concerns about, the offense, the pitching, seems like, they're really coming together. And it's going to be interesting to see too, how they go about, the roster for the playoffs, who's in the rotation, who's in the bullpen, who's off of the roster. And I just feel like our lineup is so deep. You're getting from productive at bats 1 through 9. So that's all you could hope for.
That's right.
And I can't wait to be in the stadium for game 1 of the division series. We'll see who's it's against. And I believe it is still the same scenario where, if the season ended today, that it would be the Orioles and the Royals matched up. But I just want to double check here in terms of the wild card
of the AL. Royals are the
second wild card. So, okay. So the difference, actually, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Royals would play the Orioles. The only thing right now, the Tigers, Tony the Tiger. How about this, huh? I mean, pretty amazing run, though. I mean, they were terrible all season. I mean, it just went on fire here down the stretch. You think Hinch is up to something?
Oh, really?
Potentially, right? I mean, a little parallel, right?
Oh, man. There's no way he'd risk that again, dude.
But nevertheless, I mean, kind of improbable here. I mean, I just think that roster is not that good. Obviously, you have your Skubal. He's a great player. Torkelson as well, Tony. But this comes as a surprise to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, when you want to think of some of these home run leaders around Detroit, I mean, it's not a ton. Like Riley Green leading it with 24 home runs. Not a lot of power going through there. But you said right now, I mean, they're pitching. They're pitching. Yeah,
17 wins for Skubal.
Kind of crazy, dude. And they're really good. Here we go, dude.
You had Flaherty, you trade him away, but yet you're still competitive. And they're actually a dead tie with the Royals. So they would play Baltimore if they're able to.
Reese Olson, that's the other
gain
guy.
one game on the Royals before the end of the year.
Yeah, it would be pretty interesting to see what happens. But
the Royals have lost 7 in a row.
I know, dude. And you mentioned Tigers. I think they haven't won 7 in a row, but they've won 7 of the last 10.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. Me, I'm kind of rooting for the Royals. Obviously, Seth Lugo deserves it. But I guess we'll see, dude. What do you think? You think Tigers at the end of the day? Get that?
I could see the Royals just missing the playoffs. I mean, this just seems like it's a bad slide. I mean, 7 in a row at this time of the year. Usually that doesn't bode well.
No, not at all, dude. I mean, and again, look at where the Twins are right now. They're a game behind them both. So it's like, and then the Mariners, who knows at that point? Kind of crazy how tight this race is right now.
Yeah. So it will play out. We will see. And I know,
there's 7 teams involved here
in the National League. Same thing applies. So
only
I think
4 teams.
Still very tight though. And I know you're riled. And there actually is 4 games today. I thought there was only 3, but anyway, I know you're riled. Mets 3 or 4 from the Phillies. The big win Sunday Night Baseball last night, and Michael Butker's favorite, Buster Olney, with the reporting.
That's right.
What is Tony reporting?
So, obviously this is the 4-game set. We're going to start, the win on Thursday. So we're starting from Friday here, which is actually a big kerfuffle, Brian, on the Mets part here. A pretty emphatic loss, 12-2 by the Mets. And again, kind of funny, bottom of the first, Iglesias homered, Nimmo ground out RBI. You're up 2-0. You're feeling good. You have your best pitcher in David Peterson up. But he wasn't your best pitcher that night, dude, on Friday. His final line was 3 2/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 Ks. No walks, but looking very hittable. Top of the second there, just the inning later, sac fly RBI makes it 2-1. Next inning, Castellanos double, it was a 1-run double because Bohm got thrown out actually at home, which was great by, I think it was Vientos with the throw. That made it 2-2 though. And then just from then on, you really didn't see much offense at all. I think Mets had 4 hits that game. I believe 3 of them came in the first inning, which was kind of crazy. And after that, I mentioned it was 2-2, top of the 4th. Peterson still in here. Rojas double 4-2. I believe at that point he was pulled, bringing out of Vino. Gives up the RBI single to Turner, makes it 5-2. 2-run homer to Bohm, makes it 8-2. And then at that point, they pull out of Vino. Brazoban comes in, gives up, I think it's out of the inning, but then in the 6th, he's still in. Alec Bohm, RBI single, scores 2 more, or 1 more, 9-2. Castellanos in the 6th against Young, made it 10-2. And then Rio Muto in the 8th against Young again, I believe. Homered, makes it 12-2. That was your entire game right there. I believe we had a position player come in Eddie Alvarez came in for the 9th. And I mean, that was just one of those emphatic losses. Again, the Phillies were due for one of those, though. Alec Boehm, especially, someone who was coming off of an injury with his hand, very slow getting back into the swing of things, no pun intended, but had his big night that he's had. He's been a great player all year long. 4 for 5 that night, 2 runs, 4 RBIs with a home run there. Obviously, the what Harper can do, Trey Turner, all their bats were just firing. The Phillies looked like, the 92 win team that they are. So, I mean, it is what it is, especially given the fact of the rest of the weekend, because obviously after Friday, I'm kind of feeling a little nervous. But Mets, huge bounce back here. Manaea getting the start on Saturday, not missing a beat here against Ranger Suarez. And you want to talk about, the Mets getting to some certain players here early, dude. Kyle Schwarber solo shot in the first. Of being nervous, dude. Again, you're thinking Manaea. Oh, could be kind of
here
tough.
We go.
But he absolutely settles down. And I think partly due to the fact that the Mets offense was hitting right away. Bottom of the second here, back-to-back home runs. Alvarez, Acuna. Love to see that. Alvarez with a big home run. I believe that's his 11th home run of the year. Acuna getting his 3rd. Cannot really stress how excited I am by the fact how well this guy's been playing.
Oh, it's been unbelievable.
Makes it 2-1 just like that. Top of the 5th, Manaea was really coasting, as I mentioned, really settled down. Does give up another solo home run to Castellanos. Makes it 2-2. But the Mets come back right away in the 7th. Nimmo, RBI single with Marte. And then Alonso in the bags. Alonso moved to 3rd. Marte scores, makes it 3-2. Alvarez again, bat heating up. Double to center, scoring Alonso and Nimmo. Love Nimmo speed around the bags there. Makes it 5-2 just like that. After the 7th here, Manaea, I believe, gives up maybe another hit. But nonetheless, does get pulled after 7. And his line was great. 6 Ks, just the 3 earned runs, only 89 pitches too. So the pitch count wasn't crazy high. But obviously, Mendoza just wants to get to the bullpen, relief Manaea here. Reed Garrett does come in. He's another guy too who you're kind of, almost worried about. He gives up a hit here. Stevenson ends up scoring on a fielder's choice. Stevenson grounds out there to first. Stockos to second at that point. Makes it 5-3. That was, an unearned run there from Garrett. He gets 2 outs of the inning in the 8th. And they go to Diaz early. Asks him to get 4 outs. And he does exactly that. I think he strikes out, I forget who, to end the 8th. And then speaking of the 8th, Alonso, after a couple of hits by Iglesias and Marte, Alonso RBI single makes it 6-3. Little insurance policy there. At that point, because, you still never know. Diaz does come into the 9th, which was great. And, obviously we'll talk about Sunday too. But seeing Diaz come in here, gets Turner to ground out, strikes out Harper. That was a big, emphatic Harper strikeout. I think that was like a 7-8 pitch at bat. And then Alec Boehm comes up. You're still kind of nervous. First pitch slider, grounds out. Love to see it. Moving on to Sunday, as we know what happened, because we were all watching it in real time last night. McGill with a great start. Taylor with a big hit. Nimmo with a big home run. But I think the story of Sunday really is Diaz coming in the 8th, dude, getting 6 outs. 4 of them are strikeouts right there. Efficient through 2 innings, 30 pitches, 18 of them being the strikes. Only gives up 1 hit, does walk 2 batters. But nonetheless, he's absolutely dialed in. You saw his expression after they won too. Diaz, is looking like a postseason closer right now. Again, back-to-back days against the Phillies in tight situations. Obviously not the save on Saturday, but the save last night, his 20th save of the year there, Brian. You got to love that. I think that's some of the best performances by Diaz I've seen. Back-to-back games against the Phillies like this.
Back-to-back games when you need it.
Right? 6 outs here, 4 outs the other night.
Is there anything that in the back of your mind where it looks good now, but it's been so up and down where like you're a little worried, come a potential, wild card game, Diaz, 1-run game, it's heart of the lineup, where you're a little concerned?
If we do get there, I don't think so. I would honestly be more worried of like the 1-run lead against the Braves, to be honest.
Okay.
I think once Diaz gets over that hump and gets into the playoffs, I think we're going to see like some absolute lights out ball like we saw this weekend from him. But we just got to get there, dude.
So how about
gotta
this?
Get there.
In the midst of a big baseball segment here. We're pumped for the playoffs. Michael Theophil coming in, going, hockey and NBA is going to be sick this year. Pumped for the sports coverage of it all.
Wow, dude.
And I think everybody's pumped for that. And he said he's pumped playoff baseball as well.
Yes.
So basically you could say Michael's pretty jacked.
I think Michael is pretty jacked. Maybe we'll see him having some NBA breakdowns this year, dude.
You never know what you're going to get.
Dude. And again, maybe, we go to the game at the Garden, the Rangers. He gets extra riled for the Rangers. And maybe all of a sudden now.
Rangers fan. I mean, your jersey, I thought, was burned at the stake, no?
It's lost. Although, who knows? Maybe he did have some ceremony about it and we didn't even know.
Some ritual.
But yeah, dude, I mean, listen, if he wants to be a Rangers fan, give him shit last year for it. And I think, again, if he's sticking with it, like, why not? Like, let him, whatever. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm definitely excited. I really can't wait to get to some games for the Rangers.
Oh, my God. Tony DiNapoli's and Jack Dempsey's. Going to be good stuff, no?
It's going to be great stuff, dude. I mean, it really is just always a great time to watch some hockey, too. And I mean, going at MSG and hockey live is such a great sport to watch. I love it, dude. I really do.
Yeah, nothing like it. And he says, let's go Rangers. So I think that whole devil bugaboo is no longer, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is gone, flushed out of the system.
I still can't believe the Rangers didn't do more in the offseason, honestly. Look, I know it's like, preseason already started. Yes, they beat the Bruins yesterday. But I just hope we don't end up coming back to that. Like we did coming back to Gensel at the deadline last year.
I would think if I had to guess here, I mean, we talked about Drury sticking true to what he has, getting some young guys in the organization up. Which is great. I do like that. That's what his stance is, and he's sticking to it. He's not really middling by picking up these lower tier guys in the offseason and maybe hoping a wish, lightning in a bottle, whatever. I think that he's, emphatic with his decision. I do like some of the young guys the Rangers have, and I think if anything at the deadline we would be buyers, Right. So let's go, dude. It's going to be a great year for the Rangers.
Yeah, I would think so. Has to be. So I guess what we're going to do here, only 4 games on the docket. So we'll go 2 apiece in a full-on baseball frenzy.
You said it, dude. Light slate here. Let's go with the first game for me. You'll get some of these pitching matchups. I mean, Astros are itching for the win. So the Mariners are supposed to. Oh, gosh, dude. I guess give me the Phillies, honestly. Let's think logically here. 6:40 p.m. Phillies, Nola, Cubs, Pearson, dude. Chicago plus 150. You're over under. I forgot that it's not right here for me. God forbid. I have to get 7.5. Thank you very much, Brian. Over under is 7.5. Give me Aaron Nola. Maybe 7 innings of unearned baseball there for him.
Of unearned.
Like unearned runs. There's no runs given.
Be careful.
And I think a bounce back for the Phillies here. They're probably tight, honestly. The Mets came in the city, whatever. Now they're back home. I could see Kyle Schwarber getting kind of tight. Maybe a home run tonight. Pearson, maybe 5 1/3. Give me Phillies winning this one. I'm going to say 5-3. So Phillies in the over, baby.
All right, here. So I am going to go. This is a very good pitching matchup. Hunter Brown, Bryce Miller.
Very good.
More of a Mariner desperation call here to try to just somehow find a way in the playoffs. Doesn't seem likely, but I think for tonight, they get the job done. Pitchers duel, 2-2 game, 8th inning. Julio Rodriguez, the old grand slam. As we will see the Mariners win this one 6-3. Mariners and the over.
Let's go to Toronto. Why not here for my second game, last game, bets game here. Toronto just got swept by the Rays. Kind of crazy there. They're playing the Red Sox here at home. I know Blue Jays have had a good home win streak, I think, as of late. But obviously, you look at this regular season series. Boston leads 6-4. They just took 2 out of 3 against the Minnesota Twins. Toronto is minus 120, over 7.5. Chris Bassett, Tanner Houck. Bassett, complete game shutout. Why not? I think, solid pitcher, good attitude, not having a great year. But the Red Sox, the offense, Duran, maybe, whatever. I don't know. Give me Vladdy, maybe top of the 8th, 2-run home run. Blue Jays win 2-0.
Giants D-backs, final game of the night, 9:40. Hunter Birdsong versus Eduardo Rodriguez here. The Giants out of it, but playing hard here. Matt Chapman, his first career 3-home run game. Giants all over the D-backs, 10-4. Hunter Birdsong, 5th win of the year. Just like that. That is your baseball frenzy.
Hunter Birdsong, dude.
We have not had somebody with the last name Birdsong, I feel like, play any of the major sports, right?
There's definitely
Hayden,
no
by
way.
the way,
Kind
my
of
mistake.
ridiculous. Hayden
Birdsong.
Hayden Birdsong. From Illinois. From Mattoon, Illinois, dude. He seems like a nice kid, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice enough guy, you know.
Sure. God, dude.
Man,
I feel like the Diamondbacks are really finding ways to lose games.
Yeah. But quite the run,
here.
nevertheless. I mean, we're out of the playoff mix for a good amount of the year, but have found themselves, in the driver's seat here for a wild card spot, obviously just barring any type of collapse.
Yeah, I mean, they actually really need the Mets to beat the Braves here,
right?
If they want to retain that 3rd wild card spot. So it should be interesting to see what happens. At the end of the day, what are the 3 teams coming to the NL for the wild card?
It's going to be probably the top 3, I would say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. So Braves stay on the outside?
I don't get a good feeling from them at all.
Neither do I. Padres for the Dodgers right now.
The only thing that I think bodes well for them, Sevy's last start of the year, I think. Anyway, maybe he'll get one more. But regardless of that, you never know if he's going to get popped.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like recently, not that he's pitched like terrible, but I would say he must have the highest ERA like past month of starts for all the Mets starters, I would think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, wow. The Braves end with Kansas City, dude. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the Royals obviously will be itching, to get in the playoffs there. And they're reaching Brady Singer, Seth Lugo, Cale Reagans too. Like
all home games.
That's going to be tough, dude.
Yeah.
For the Braves. Like
it is.
They're the outside looking in. And then D-backs too. That series against the Padres end of the year. That's going to be crazy too. Because again, D-backs are probably going to want to make the wild card. Who knows? Wow, dude. There's going to be some like tight, good baseball down the stretch here.
Sweating. And other than that, a couple comments here trickling in. Josh B talking Rangers Devils preseason tickets in New Jersey, $20 and MSG 48. But you know what the problem is, Josh? And listen, I love going see some hockey, but I mean, Jesus, preseason, you might as well, throw your money in the fire.
Yeah, and he answered his own question. It's like Prudential Center,
awesome,
MSG,
exactly. Plus,
like,
I'm preseason now.
You really wouldn't go?
The only preseason game that I would ever go to would be spring training at Steinbrenner Field.
Really?
That's it. I'm not going to any preseason games. Or I guess you're going to give me a suite. Want to give me a suite? Let's do a suite, right? Or no? That would be the only thing. Then it makes sense. The buffet, the drinks, sure. But other than that, it's like I'm not going to a preseason game.
Yeah, no. Especially to get to the Prudential Center. Forget it.
No, I just want to go to a regular season game. I don't want to go to, you know what I mean? I just don't want to do it.
Well, I did when they did back in the day, Webster Bank.
I guess that's different.
Yeah,
that's different, but I'm not going all the way over there I'm just going to wait till the regular season.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then a little like back and forth with Kev Do, huh?
Yeah, he says, Matthew Ryan, bro, you are the most annoying person that comes on the show. And then he says, MSG, let's go Rangers. And then Matthew Ryan says, Matthew, this is Kev Do Taylor. I'm speaking the truth. Rangers suck, dude. Wow, Kev Do, nothing comes out of your mouth is the truth. Josh B, I do hockey preseason. Kev Do, I do hockey preseason.
And I will do a hockey regular season. Tony DiNapoli's, Jack Dempsey's. Come on, fellas. They're selling themselves short here. They deserve better than that.
No, yeah, that's for sure. I think I would still do preseason. I think someone would have to buy me the ticket though.
But you know what it is though. Ticket. But even like just what you just said there, because it's like the other stuff that come with it. It's not just about the ticket price. You still have to do all that other cost.
You're still spending a lot,
but you're going to a preseason game. So regardless of the ticket being cheaper, Give me the regular
season. But you're saving probably $150 on the ticket.
Yeah, but I'm not looking to see backups play. It's just for a game that doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. That's true.
I can't do it.
That's fine.
I absolutely won't do it.
Right.
I won't do it.
All right.
Oh man, but either way, fellas, let's just go to a regular season game, guys. Come on.
Yeah, we should.
We can do it. There's a day. All right.
There's many days, dude.
And I feel like I forgot to ask this, but with us, the looming assignment tomorrow morning, we have Michael holding it down tomorrow.
Actually, I don't know. It may be like just an off day.
Off day,
to be honest.
/ Michael holding it down. I feel like though, unless he has something scheduled, I feel like he'll want to do it. No.
All right. Yeah. We'll see.
No, I'm saying if I had to guess.
No. Yes. If I had to guess, I would say that as well.
Either way, though, we will be on assignment tomorrow.
Yes, we will be on assignment.
But we'll be charged up, ready to go on Wednesday. And then Michael's saying, "I got this." What do you know?
Wow,
dude. Do I not know it though?
He knows it, dude. You know it.
And then Kev's down for the regular season. But then Josh is telling me that I'm too good for the preseason. No, it's just, you know what it is? It's like, oh, you want to go see independent baseball? No, I want to go to Yankee Stadium for a playoff game. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing?
No, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong, dude.
Tony's tight though for some reason. Am I saying something wrong here?
No. I mean, it's just that I would do preseason. I would go.
Yeah, but you're telling me that you wouldn't be there and then just be like, you're in the Garden game and you're just like, I wish this was regular season.
I would be like looking at the players, the young guys.
Looking at the players.
Yeah, dude. I mean, some of these guys will be called up this year potentially. So, and again, I mean, like last night, Will Cooley had an assist. Philip Heedle had a goal. There was this defenseman I think is pretty solid too. Victor, doesn't matter. But again, I mean, I think it's cool to see some of the younger guys.
Yeah. It just preseason, like I said, it doesn't matter what sport it is. Preseason's tough. And really the whole thing with the Yankees and the preseason being different is because obviously, like you just said, you see the prospects, but I haven't done it before. And there's something different with spring training, I feel like, than any other preseason too.
Yeah, spring training is a little bit more like, I don't know, it's
you're more interested.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's a longer process. You want to get to opening day. But I mean, come on. Can I get a little Tony defense here of me? I mean, Kev calling me a snob. John
wow.
I'm too good for preseason.
No, yeah, I will say, I mean, listen, it's one thing to, I mean, you're going into MSG, you're going into the city, like it's going to cost you like money, dude. You need a train ticket, the food, the whatever.
But that does not make me a snob.
And,
no way.
No, it doesn't necessarily. I mean, if you don't want to see preseason.
Necessarily. Larry's okay. Come on, Tony.
Like you want to see regular. If you're going to spend your money, you can do it on a regular game. That's totally fine, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm glad that we got that point across. But I have to say, Tony, what a show today. And I really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.